print yes if something something is, that's all you need to do. If x is equal to y, else no. There you go, easy peasy. Specify a new condition if the first condition is false. That is the correct answer. So this is an else if. We also did these, it's very easy to do. You write else if and then you make and specify a new condition like b equals 11, for example, right? And it will run this code. Important thing to note is that you would put else, you would not put else here, because if you did, that would result in an error. See? So else has to always go after if, else if at the very end of everything, basically. So else ifs always go after ifs, and else goes after everything else. So else essentially means every other condition possible that is not these conditions. That's why it's at the end. It should still not work because I have nothing here. See? Still. TMNT. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Wait, something is wrong again? Ah, I see. Because it's not one letter anymore, and I spelled letter incorrectly, but I'm keeping it. I'm just gonna pretend that I know how to spell letters. Letters. Letter? Letter. Letter. Later. Later. Fine, it's gonna be later. And I'm gonna type 57 because budget, why not? Hey, it still doesn't work. Because I've got to change it here. And there you go. Now it works. Anywho. So print 1 if x is equal to y, print 2 if x is greater than y, otherwise print 3. Okay. So you put the if statement, and if x is equal to y, you check if x is equal to y, and if it is, you print with count, you print 1. If it's not, you type else if, you add a condition. If x is greater than y, then you print 2. If it's any other condition, you just put a simple else statement, and there you go. Submit answer, and it's correct, sir. We did it. You can have multiple else if statements in CPP, C++ program. You can have multiple, yes, that is correct. You can have multiple else ifs if you want to. A shorthand way of writing if else statements. No idea. First time I hear about this. So shorthand if. What is it? There is also a shorthand if else, which is known as the ternary operator because it consists of 3 operands. It can be used to replace multiple lines of code with a single line and is often used to replace simple if-else statements. This is the syntax: a variable, the condition you want to have, question mark, expression true, and expression false. Huh. Okay. So instead of writing all of this, if this is this, else this, right? You just write this. I will definitely use this because this is so convenient, you know? Of course, this is not for everything, because for it to work, it needs to check and declare into a variable. So I see a lot of potential to use this a lot of times, but Let's see if I remember the structure of it. Let's say... God diggity. Let's say I want to print... what is the very cool thing to print? Like... smelly feet. Oh, don't ask me why. Strings... It's called this stream smut. Because why not? And then we're gonna check if... letter equals 37. And if yes, we put a question mark here and we're gonna print a statement, which I already forgot, smelly feet. And if it's false, we're gonna print no, you know, that like dark fader, no, something like that. And right, print that shit. Oh no, that's not it. There we go, that's it. Man, smelly feet. Why? What is wrong with me? Okay, what is the ternary something something? It's a shorthand way of writing if-else statements. How many operands does the ternary operator consist of? 2. 1. Actually, there's only... What is an operand? Because I feel like I don't know what it means. I don't want to print it. An operand is a quantity of object that is acted upon in a mathematical operation, such as numbers in an equation. For example, in the expression 3 plus 5, both 3 and 5 are operands, while the plus sign is the operator that indicates the... Oh, I get it now. Okay, that makes sense. This is an operand, this is an operand, and this is an operand. That's why it's 3. It's a quartet. No, wait. 1, 2, 3... Tritent? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Insert the missing parts to complete the following shorthand if-else statement. Simple. This is the condition. This is the question mark, which I have no idea why it's there. The good day and good evening. Good day is the statement that will the result be consist of. If it's true, and good evening is the result it will be consist of if it's false. And then it will print result. A perfect. Magnifique. Let's see, what will be the output of this code if day equals 2? Switch statements. Well, very fucking nice. Those switch statements are very interesting. Essentially, this is already how you write them. So it's very similar to condition. Basically, you write a case and you write what you want to check against this variable. It doesn't have to be 1, 2, it can be other things, like for example, let's delete the smut. There's a time for place for smut, and this is not it. Right, let's make a switch statement. Switch. Not the Nintendo kind, the coding kind. And we need a variable. Let's say I'm not entirely sure this is gonna work, but it should technically. case is gonna be, because it's also possible that case 1 and case 2 is how you need to do, but I don't really remember if I'm completely honest. But I think it should work this way. If it doesn't, well then, I don't know, I'll make a mistake and learn something new. There are no mistakes, only happy accidents. Okay, you can have as many case statements as you want, but at the end you need to put default. Any condition. Doesn't. Ba-bam. Switch quantity is not an integer. Okay, so essentially for a switch to work, it needs to be an integer. And then it just checks for the number. So if it's gonna be 10. I'm sorry? Somebody explain this to me because I am very confused. It works and doesn't at the same time. Well, this has been a very interesting week. Like honestly, I hadn't had a week so interesting before. Man. Ah, shit. Damn it, right, my bad. That's definitely my bad. Because the code automatically doesn't stop, you need to break it. So it keeps continuing. And the way you break the code is by writing break. Not brack. But break. Not briquet. What the hell is a briquet? Right. Now it will... Why is there a dot here? Hey, it works! Huzzah! So, we learned if statements, else statements, shorthand statements, switch statements. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all there is for in terms of statements. So yeah, we're done with switch statements. We still have some exercises to do. I guess we can finish those. If it's 2, it's gonna come here, which is gonna be printed Tuesday. Next question, insert the missing parts to complete the following switch statements. So day for variable, case, and break. So it would break the code and wouldn't run it. Specifically, it doesn't break the code still runs, but it breaks the switch statement. Only it. Break only breaks, as I understand it, only what it... Actually, you know what? I'm not sure. Which is a break keyword, it breaks out of a switch block. This will... A break can save a lot of execution time because it ignores the execution of all the rest of the code in the switch block. Break can be used in other aspects also, in other places, but I don't want to say too much because I'm not entirely sure that I'm completely correct, and maybe there's going to be an answer later on. So, for now, all we need to know is that this is how you write a switch statement. Very easy. Which keyword allows code to execute when no case matches in a switch statement? Default. Next. So essentially, if no case matches in the switch statement, it just will run the default. So it's like an else statement essentially. If nothing else works, we default to default. That's why it's called default, right? Alright. Today was not the most successful of streams, but today was a very fun stream, and at the end of the day, doesn't it matter? As long as we're having fun, that's what all that matters. So again, thanks Wei. Thank you for being awesome. Thank you for somebody else who did something. I think somebody followed. Thank you all the hackers who tried to hack me. Maybe you have succeeded. I don't know. I will check what's wrong with my stream. And you too, Wei. Have a great night's sleep. Wait, no. Have a great the rest of the day. Right. And I will have a wonderful week. And you have the most wonderful weeks. And I really need to start writing down what I'm gonna say at the end of the stream.